Imagine this. A museum curator walks in Monday morning. The 200-pound meteorite that's been bolted to the floor for 30 years. Gone. No broken locks, no alarms triggered, just an empty display stand and a single muddy boot print. That one actually happened. And it's not even close to the strangest theft on this list. Buckle up, because we are going to uncover 20 weirdest things ever stolen in the US. Let's go! Number 1. A 200-pound meteorite was stolen from the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show in Arizona. The rock had survived 4.5 billion years in space, only to vanish from a convention center overnight. Investigators were baffled because no equipment capable of lifting it was reported nearby. It was later recovered in a suspected dealer's garage. Number 2. Thieves in Jamaica stole an entire beach. Not a few buckets of sand, 500 truckloads, roughly 500 feet of white shoreline, all gone before dawn. Investigators suspected an inside job involving construction crews. The resort had planned to open that season. The sand was never found, and the beach was rebuilt at staggering cost. Number 3. A fully functional solid 18-karat gold toilet valued at over $1 million was stolen from Blenheim Palace in England. But here's the American connection. It was created by New York-based artist Maurizio Cattelan and had previously toured U.S. galleries. Thieves unscrewed it from the plumbing in minutes, causing significant water damage. It has never been recovered. Number 4. Thieves in Texas stole a truck containing a portable radioactive gauge used in construction. The device held cesium-137, enough to cause radiation poisoning on contact. The terrifying part? The thieves likely had no idea what they took. Authorities issued emergency alerts across 3 states. The truck was eventually found abandoned, but the gauge's exact condition raised serious concerns. Number 5. A man in Maine systematically stole live lobsters from Walmart seafood tanks. Over 60 visits, stuffing them into reusable grocery bags. His reasoning? He believed Walmart undervalued them. Police only caught him after reviewing months of surveillance footage. The total theft exceeded $1,000. Walmart, notably, had been selling live lobsters cheaper than most local markets. Number 6. Someone stole a historical outhouse from Abraham Lincoln's boyhood farm in Indiana, a structure authenticated by the National Park Service as dating to the 1800s. The theft required digging up the foundation and hauling it away undetected overnight. Rangers called it one of the most bizarre thefts in national park history. It was never returned. Number 7. In California during the early 2000s, highway officials noticed something impossible. An entire overhead freeway sign had vanished from Interstate 5. The structure weighed over 800 pounds and required professional rigging equipment to remove. Investigators eventually traced it to a collector who claimed road signs were underappreciated American folk art. He had 17 stolen signs stored in his warehouse. Number 8. Across the American Midwest between 2006 and 2012, thieves systematically stripped copper wire from active railroad signal systems, not understanding that those signals prevented train collisions. Several near misses occurred before federal investigators intervened. The copper sold for pennies per pound at scrapyards. The repair costs exceeded $40 million. One arrest led investigators to a network spanning 11 states. Number 9. A Florida man attempted to smuggle a near-complete Tyrannosaurus bataar skeleton, a close T-Rex relative, into the U.S. after purchasing it abroad. Federal agents intercepted it at a New York port. The skeleton had been illegally excavated from Mongolia. What made it stranger? The man had publicly auctioned the bones on eBay just days before customs officials noticed the listing. Number 10. In rural Kansas, an entire municipal water tower disappeared overnight from a town of fewer than 400 people. The structure stood 40 feet tall. Investigators determined it required cutting torches, cranes, and at least 6 people working in coordinated silence. The scrap metal value was roughly $1,500. The replacement cost the town $200,000, nearly bankrupting local infrastructure budgets. If you've made it this far, you already know this list isn't like anything else you've seen. The next 10 facts get considerably stranger, including one theft that technically wasn't illegal when it happened, which is somehow the most unsettling part. If this kind of content is your thing, the subscribe button exists for exactly this reason. Number 11. In drought-stricken Colorado, someone stole an entire cloud seeding generator from a remote mountain installation, equipment designed to artificially induce rainfall. Authorities suspected a rival agricultural operation. The generator was never recovered. What investigators found disturbing wasn't the theft itself, but what it revealed. Dozens of unregistered competing weather modification systems operating secretly across 4 western states. Number 12. Thieves broke into a California mausoleum and stole the body of a deceased Hollywood actor for ransom, demanding money from the family in exchange for its return. Police had never encountered a case quite like it. The body was eventually recovered in a storage unit. The thieves had apparently believed celebrity remains held significant black market value among collectors. Number 13. Between 2007 and 2009, cities across the American Northeast reported a staggering statistic. Chicago alone lost over 150 manhole covers in a single month. Thieves were melting them down for scrap iron, earning roughly $15 each. The danger was catastrophic. Pedestrians fell into open holes. One city installed GPS trackers inside replacement covers, catching an entire theft ring within 72 hours. Number 14. A former employee of a major U.S. pharmaceutical company was convicted of stealing proprietary chemical formulas valued at over $1 billion, not for a competitor, but to launch his own company in secret. What made prosecutors uneasy was how close he came to succeeding. He had stolen the files incrementally over 4 years, hiding them inside routine expense reports nobody ever audited. Number 15. A NASA intern and 2 accomplices stole 101 grams of genuine moon rocks from the Johnson Space Center in Houston, samples collected during Apollo missions and considered literally priceless. They attempted selling them online. A federal sting operation caught them immediately. What haunts investigators still, a full audit afterward revealed additional samples had gone missing years earlier from unknown perpetrators. Number 16. An entire 50-foot steel bridge disappeared overnight from above a creek in Pennsylvania. Contractors arrived Monday morning to find only the anchor bolts remaining. The structure weighed approximately 10 tons. State officials initially suspected an elaborate scrap metal operation. Surveillance footage from a nearby farm camera eventually identified 3 trucks, but the bridge itself was never conclusively located or recovered. Number 17. In California's Central Valley, thieves stole over 2,400 beehives, roughly 600 million live bees, from almond orchards overnight. Commercial beehives rent for $200 each during pollination season, making this a $500,000 theft. The bees were untraceable once moved. What made it economically devastating wasn't the high value, but the cascading crop losses that followed without sufficient pollination coverage that season. Number 18. In a bizarre 2007 trademark dispute, a private developer in Nevada successfully filed legal ownership over the name of an existing small town, then demanded licensing fees from local businesses using that name in their signage. Residents argued it wasn't technically theft. Courts disagreed. The case exposed a nationwide loophole allowing geographic place names to be privately trademarked if municipalities failed to register them first. Number 19. A rare individual page from a Gutenberg Bible, one of the first books ever printed, was stolen from a university library in California. Single pages were selling privately for $25,000 each. What unraveled investigators was discovering the thief had been systematically removing single pages per visit across 18 months, never triggering alarms. Full books are tracked. Individual pages, apparently, were not. One fact remains, and it's the one that's hardest to explain because the object stolen technically had no owner, no monetary value, and no physical weight. Yet it triggered a federal investigation. If you've been keeping score of how strange this list has gotten, Fact 20 is going to land differently. Likes and subscriptions tell the algorithm this content deserves a wider audience. Number 20. A man in Oregon was federally prosecuted for stealing something invisible, an unlicensed radio frequency. He had been broadcasting a pirate signal powerful enough to override emergency weather alerts across 3 counties. No property was physically taken, yet the FCC classified it as theft of public airwaves. What unsettled regulators most? 17 similar unlicensed signals were discovered operating nationwide during the same investigation. Everything on this list, from a beach to a frequency you cannot touch, was taken because someone decided the rules of ownership didn't apply to them. The meteorite from the intro survived 4.5 billion years in space. It lasted 3 days at a gem show. So here's the question worth sitting with. If something can be stolen, does that mean it was ever truly secure to begin with?